I did not plan to stay awake that night. Christmas had been loud and exhausting. Family, food, small talk that lasted too long. By 11, everyone was already drifting off. My parents went to their room. My younger sister fell asleep on the couch and my uncle said goodnight and locked the front door behind him like he always did. The house settled into that quiet that only happens late at night. The kind that feels heavier during the holidays because everything outside is supposed to be warm and joyful. I went to my room, but I could not sleep. My phone battery was dead and the silence felt too sharp. So I stayed awake, just listening. That is when I heard the first sound. It was soft, almost polite. A faint knock coming from somewhere near the front of the house. Not loud enough to wake anyone. Not urgent enough to feel like an emergency. I waited, holding my breath, expecting it to stop. It did not. There was another knock. Same rhythm. Slow, careful. I told myself it was nothing. Old houses make noises. Pipes shift. Wood contracts. That explanation usually works. This time it did not. I stepped into the hallway. The lights were off. The Christmas tree was still glowing faintly in the living room, reflecting off the window. That is when I noticed something that made my stomach tighten. The front door was not being knocked on. The sound was coming from the side door, the one that leads to the laundry room. The door no one ever uses at night. The door with the frosted glass panel. I stood there for a long time, frozen, listening. The knocks continued. Slow, patient. Whoever was on the other side was not in a hurry. That scared me more than if they had been frantic. I thought about waking my parents. I thought about calling the police. But something stopped me. The part of my brain that did not want to admit this was real. The part that said if I acknowledged it, it would become something I could not undo. Then the knocking stopped. I waited. Minutes passed. The silence returned, thicker than before. I started to relax, just a little, until I heard a different sound. Scratching. Not loud, not aggressive, just fingers, lightly dragging across the glass, testing it, tracing the surface, like they were learning the shape of the door. I backed away slowly, every step, careful not to make a sound. I went into my room and locked the door. I sat on the floor with my back against it, heart pounding so hard I was sure it would wake someone. I stayed there until morning. When the house finally woke up, everything looked normal. No damage, no footprints, no signs anyone had been there, except for one thing. On the frosted glass of the side door, at about eye level, there were faint smudges, like someone had pressed their face close, trying to see inside. My family still thinks I imagined it. I know I did not, because now, every Christmas night, when the house goes quiet, I stay awake, just in case someone comes back to see if I am still listening.